Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pladen V358 large second chronograph. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Spaghetti Design PD 1685, and Grogo's wearing my Skami 1968. Grogo said that Princess Leia put a bounty on Lady Kira, who has been buying then selling illegally obtained organs on the black market. When Mando tracked her down and brought her to the princess, she asked her if she had anything to say for herself. She says she always relies on the kidneys of strangers. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this fairly simple box, and it comes on a pillow, and it did come with a sizing tool. But here it is. It's not a bad looking watch for 25 bucks. This is the fourth Pladen on my channel, and I almost didn't get this watch as I was really disappointed with the last Pladen I reviewed because it was a faux chronograph with a fake pushers that didn't push, and when I opened the case back, the pushers weren't even attached to the movement. But when I saw this V358 on AliExpress, it was accompanied with a video showing someone actually pressing the buttons and activating the chronograph, and it was a actual smooth sweeping large second hand. So I was really curious to see if this watch indeed had that functionality and was really hoping the video wasn't faked. Fortunately, my fears were not realized, and this watch does indeed have a smooth sweeping large second chronograph that actually works. I have rarely ever seen a large second smooth sweeping chronograph in this price range, so I'm glad I purchased this watch for a review. This watch comes in 3 colorways. I chose the colors that make it look like a silver Snoopy, but if you want a more traditional look, we have the black dial with black subdials. There is also an ice blue if you want something that is different than the real McCoy. The watch is 40.2 millimeters if you measure at the bezel, but 42.4 millimeters if you measure at the case. It's 48.8 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. It's 14.5 millimeters thick, but that includes this dome crystal. As you can see, that's some pretty serious dome there. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and weighs 116 grams on the supplied metal bracelet with 2 links removed. The bezel, we have a tachymeter, and look at that though. Look at that alignment. It is seriously misaligned. That 60 should be right there where the 12 is, and it is not. So some serious misalignment there. And if you look at the tachymeter, it looks very similar to a certain more famous brand. And then we have the dial. The dial is a nice white. We have the Pladen name up top, and I don't think Pladen has a logo. If it does, I don't know what it is. And then no mention of quartz, but of course this is a quartz watch. And then we have the 2 little dots next to the 12 o'clock index. You can barely see them, but they are actually loomed. And then we have the indices themselves, and they are batons, and they are unloomed. And then we have the minute markers with sub-seconds. Then we have fence post, minute, and hour hand, and they are loomed, and the loom is not very good. I will show you later in the test. And then we have the date at the 4:30. A lot of people don't like a date at the 4:30. I'd rather have a date than no date. And I think on this particular model, the one with the white dial, the date's not obtrusive at all. It really doesn't deter from the looks of the watch. So I'm perfectly fine with the date. And then we have the subdials. We have a 24-hour indicator on the right. The bottom is the running second hand, which is rare to have a small running second hand on a chronograph of this price range. And on the left, we have the chronograph minute counter. And as I said before, this is a large second chronograph. So let's go ahead and press the top pusher. And there it is. And as you can see too, not only is it a large second chronograph, it's a somewhat smooth sweep. Now it's kind of choppy and jumpy though, so it's not a particularly smooth sweep, but you do get some kind of sub-second going on there. Not a lot of ticks there, but some. So go ahead and press the top pusher to stop it. And as you can see, you get a fast rewind because this is not a Mecha Quartz. Then we have an unsigned push-pull crown. As you can see here, the crown action is really, really loose. And when you go to set it, well, that time it didn't jump. No, doesn't seem to be too bad. Try it one more time. Now, as long as you hold the crown down when you press it in, you don't get too much of a minute hand jump. It's at least bearable. But you got to hold the crown when you push it in. And then we have the crystal. The ad says glass, but I swear this really feels like plastic to me, or acrylic to me. And I think it's acrylic. And I could be wrong. It just feels like acrylic, but the ad says glass. The nice thing about acrylic is if it does scratch, you can actually buff it out, unlike glass, where if it does scratch, you're kind of screwed. It's scratched for life. So I don't know. Like I said, the ad says glass, but it really feels like acrylic to me. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I guess I had no way to test other than to try to scratch it, and I am not going to do that. Then we have the case. The ad says solid stainless steel, but the ad is wrong. This is obviously a chrome-plated alloy. You can just tell. For one thing, it's shiny everywhere. And it just doesn't match the tone of the steel bracelet that it comes with. And oh yeah, the pushers don't have screw downs, but that's fine. You only get 30 meters of water resistance here, so you don't really need lock pushers anyway, because you're not going to take this in the water. You'd be foolish to do so. Then we have the case back. The case back looks like a screw down, but these little notches are fake. They're just there for show, because if you look right here, you see the little notch for the pry bar. Then it says stainless steel, and once again, it's not. You can just tell. Then it says water resistant, because you only get the 30 meters. Then it says made in PRC, which is the People's Republic of China. Then it says V358. And then we have the little rocket. And this rocket looks just like the one that they use on Pagani Design. So I don't know if they're kind of a sister brand to Pagani Design. Underneath the case back is the PE60 movement. This is my first watch with a PE60. I didn't even know it existed. I've seen a million PE90s, but never a PE60. I'm assuming that this is the large second chronograph version of the PE90. So I popped the case back, and there it is. And it says no jewels. So I would consider this to be better than the PE90 just because of the simple fact that it has a large second chronograph hand. The bracelet is a 5-link with solid inverted end links. And it's fully articulating, so that's always nice. It'll fit you like a glove. But one weird thing, though, is normally when you have a 5-link, these two little small links here are normally polished. That way you see a little kind of fun polish here. It gives you some contrast. But these are brushed. And so it's kind of pointless to have a 5-link, because all these links do is give you a chance to show you some polish next to your brush. And since they're all brushed, it's kind of pointless. But if you look at the watch that this is homaging, those little links would be polished. And it just kind of gives it a nice look. Then we have a butterfly clasp, and it is not signed. And it's bidirectional. It doesn't matter which way you close it. You can close either one. There's no little tab or anything to prevent you from closing it in another direction. And there's no half links, but these links aren't huge. So I was able to get a good fit, but you might not get the perfect fit. But this watch is not very heavy, so the perfect fit isn't quite as important. And we have push pins and not screw pins. Here's the watch and my 7.5-inch wrist. I think it looks nice, wears nice. And I was able to get a good fit. I removed 2 links though to fit on my 7.5-inch wrist. So 8 inches, that's about the best you're gonna do. And normally you can usually ask the AliExpress store for some extra links, but that's on their little higher end watches. I don't know if you can do that on a $25 Pladen or not, but I guess you could try. But of course you could always put it on a different strap, and you'll need a 20 millimeter. Here we are in the loom room. This is a $25 chronograph, so I don't expect very much, but let's see what we have. As we speed up the time, the minute hand is already gone. The hour hand doesn't last much longer. Then all we have left are the 2 tiny dots around the 12 o'clock index. This loom is downright horrible. What do I like about this watch? Well, it looks and wears nice. And you're getting a smooth sweeping large second chronograph for 25 bucks. And it has a fully articulating 5-link bracelet with inverted end links. What are my gripes and groans? Seriously misaligned bezel. This 5-link bracelet is pointless because they didn't polish these 2 little small links. Really loose crown action means you have to be very careful when you set it. And the loom is a outright joke. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. You're getting a smooth sweeping large second chronograph with a fully articulating solid steel bracelet for $25. How can I not recommend it? Well, thank you for watching my review of the Pladen V358. If you like this watch, be sure to click on my affiliate link and to do your purchase, and I might get a small commission, which will help me keep this channel going. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, which will hopefully will get me more views. And I will be back with another review. Bye.